Spurge here, and in this video we're going to break down the new BILT Tour Helmet. So if you're looking at this, really what you're going to see is a 3/4 helmet, sub $100, but it's still carrying an ECE 2206 safety rating. So with that being said, let's break it down. So I think anytime you're looking at a helmet that's around the $100 price point, this one's coming in around $80. You know, there's a lot of questions. There's like, what am I not getting? And we're going to walk through a lot of that as we go through the features on this. But what you are getting is a helmet that is 2206 ECE safety rated and DOT in a 3/4 design. And what you might be sacrificing is just some of the little attention to detail, especially around the face shield as we walk through this. So the main construction is ABS polycarb. So it's an ABS plastic and polycarb combo shell, one shell size, and 3 different EPS sliders. So that's another little area to note here, is that when you get up into a more expensive helmet, you get multiple shell sizes. So if you're in a smaller range, the shell looks a little bit smaller on your head. That's not the case with this. There's one shell size that's going to run from extra small up to 2XL, and then they fit the helmet based on the internal EPS liners. There's 3 different EPS liners, and then that's how they fit it to the different sizes. So extra small through small gets 1 EPS, medium gets its own EPS, and then large up through 2XL gets an EPS as well. So DOT and ECE rated, 2 intake vents, 2 exhaust vents, and really when we're looking at the intake vents, you know, they're talking about the 2 main vents up top, but this is a 3/4 helmet, so you're going to get some natural airflow pushing through from the front on this, and then if you have that face shield opened up, you'll get some airflow there as well. When we're looking at a weight, 3 pounds 7 ounces in a medium, so not extremely lightweight considering you don't have a chin bar on this, but still lighter than what you'd see with some of the heavier full-faced helmets out there. And from a fitment standpoint, intermediate oval, we're going to call this intermediate oval to round. So a little bit, you know, longer to the front and back, but also you got a lot of room on the side of the head here. So this is going to be kind of edging in on what we would call a round helmet. And if you're not sure how that's going to work for you, make sure to check out our How to Size and Buy a Motorcycle Helmet guide, where we walk through, you know, matching a helmet's internal shape with your head. So taking a look at the BILT Tour Helmet, 3/4 design, 2 intake vents up top, nice hand to the overall finish on this. And at first look, I like the face shield, nice locked into place. There's a little locking mechanism over on the left-hand side. You kind of pull this out and it opens up. Very rudimentary in its design, right? So you don't have a sophisticated locking system. It's just a little tab that fits into another little plastic tab down below. Open it up, you got a drop down sun visor on this. And this is where 2 notes come into play. One, the drop-down sun visor has a lot of play in it. And again, you're sub $100. So just keep that in mind. There's definitely some play, more so than we've seen in other drop-down sun visors. Actuated on the left-hand side, and nice full drop-down to the bridge of the nose. So great coverage on this. But again, maybe in the future, just a little bit of a refinement around the play. The other thing to note is if you're closing this, it actually worked perfectly that time. So you'll forgive me, but we've had some times where you go to close it and this side will kind of sit out. So you just need to make sure that as you're closing it down, that you get both sides locked behind these little black shrouds. Those are the only 2 real notes when it comes to the face shield. As far as removing the face shield goes, same system that we've seen on other helmets. You simply have a little tab over on this side, you pop it up, this pops out. To put a new one in, goes in. You just got to make sure that that tab is sitting out as you're pushing it down. But again, compared to some of the more complicated systems out there, for a sub $100 helmet, really easy system to use if you're changing shields. And it doesn't sit too far out. It has a nice gasket where it meets around, and it sits relatively flush to the helmet. So not too much to complain about there. Got 2 exhausts in the back, just passive exhaust coming out through the spoiler on this. Taking a look on the inside. I'm going to just go ahead and open this up. Double D-ring closure, and let's just pull out the cheek pads and take a look at what we're working with underneath here. So you're going to have a piece of Velcro at the front and then some snaps around the back, and I'll show you exactly what you're working with. So you've got 2 snaps and a little bit of Velcro. You just need to make sure that those snaps are lined up and that Velcro is lined up so it's comfortable for you, but really not a complicated cheek pad with this. Definitely comfortable, nice contour to the line on that. And then you're going to have cutouts for the speaker pockets. What I will say And let me just pull this one out of the way too so we can see it on both sides. And we can get our shot in here for our camera operator. I was really impressed with the depth of the cutouts. So we've had this critique on some other helmets as we're seeing speaker pockets need to be deeper because speakers for comm systems are getting thicker as they get into the HD systems. Really nice deep cutouts with this. So if you are running one of the more modern, larger speakers, you're going to get plenty of room on the inside to make sure that that's not giving you any undue pressure on the head. Like I said, you've got a lot of room on the side of the head on this because it is leaning a little bit more towards that round head shape. Pulling the liner out, you have no snaps to the front, so just a brow mount. We like to see that, no undue pressure points, and then 2 snaps at the back behind the thick layer of padding. As you can see on the inside, really not anything sophisticated from the channel cutouts on this. You're going to see the 2 intakes at the top. You're going to see those 2 passive vents at the back, but not nearly as a sophisticated channel system as we've seen from even some of the other helmets from BILT when we're coming in around this $80 price point. So very basic helmet design. Some of the things that we really like with this is you are getting an ECE safety rated helmet for sub $100. The overall hand, you know, there's not a lot of helmets out there with the 3/4 design, you know, with that full drop down face shield, especially at this price point. So we like the fact that BILT has an offering to kind of come in a more affordable range while still offering that safety rating. If we had to come up with some nitpicks for this, it is only 1 shell size. If you are an extra small or a small, this helmet's probably going to look pretty big on you. And from a closure standpoint, like we mentioned earlier, you know, the face shield can sometimes sit outside those tabs, and then the drop-down sun visor is a little bit on the wobbly side. But overall, for around the $80 price point, a nice offering from BILT to compete against some of the other 3/4 lids out there, while still offering you the protection that you look. Anytime we're talking about a 3/4 shield, just keep in mind you're sacrificing the chin protection. So that ECE safety rating is referring to the side of the head. You're not going to see any kind of protection around the chin when we're looking at any 3/4 helmet. So just keep that in mind. I would feel that would be pretty self-explanatory, but sometimes you just have to say it out loud. So if you want more information on this helmet and other riders that are using it, you can click the info button on your desktop or mobile device. That will lead you to the product page where you can read other rider reviews. And if you're still not sure as to which helmet is right for you and your riding style as well as your budget, you can always reach out to one of our customer service reps and they can walk you through all the different options available to make sure that you find the right helmet to match up with your budget as well as your riding style. I want to thank you for joining us today for this look at the BILT Tour Helmet. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.